Have you ever wondered if any country can truly stop a weapon that moves 5 times faster than the speed of sound? Imagine a missile screaming through the atmosphere at over 3,800 miles per hour, twisting, turning, and diving toward its target. No warning sirens can keep up. No traditional defense can react in time. This is the terrifying reality of hypersonic weapons, and the race to defend against them has become one of the most secretive and high-stakes technological battles of our time. In the past, missile defense was a game of predictable moves. A ballistic missile followed a set arc, and systems like Patriot or Thejud could track and intercept them with calculated precision. But hypersonic missiles tore up that rulebook. They don't just fly faster. They maneuver unpredictably in the upper atmosphere, skipping between air and space, making tracking a nightmare. For military planners, that's the equivalent of trying to hit a bullet with another bullet while both are weaving through a storm. The United States, Russia, and China are locked in a shadow war over hypersonic dominance. Russia has showcased its Kinzhal and Avangard systems, capable of striking at blistering speeds with both nuclear and conventional warheads. China's DFVF hypersonic glide vehicle has already been tested multiple times, reportedly even circling the globe before homing in on a target. The U.S., while initially lagging in offensive hypersonics, has been pouring billions into catching up and, more importantly, building defenses that could neutralize such threats before they hit. So how do you stop something like this? The answer lies in an emerging web of defense technologies so advanced they almost sound like science fiction. At the heart of hypersonic defense is the ability to detect the missile early before it starts its unpredictable maneuvers. Traditional radar stations struggle because hypersonic missiles fly low enough to stay under the radar horizon but high enough to avoid the clutter of terrain. This is where space-based detection steps in. Satellites with infrared sensors are now being designed to spot the intense heat signatures generated by hypersonic vehicles. The U.S. Space Development Agency is launching constellations of small satellites that can track these weapons in real time. Instead of a single, massive satellite vulnerable to attack, hundreds of small ones will form a digital net, each handing off tracking data to the next as the missile blazes across the globe. Detection is only the first step. Once you see a hypersonic missile coming, you need something fast and smart enough to intercept it. Conventional interceptors like the SM-3 or AId were built for ballistic trajectories, not for agile hypersonic threats. That's why the Pentagon has been working on the Glide Phase Interceptor, a missile designed specifically to chase down hypersonic glide vehicles during their mid-course phase, when they are skimming the atmosphere at extreme speeds. But here's where it gets even more complex. Hypersonic missiles can perform sudden evasive maneuvers, so any interceptor has to think as fast as it moves. This is where artificial intelligence plays a critical role. Advanced AI algorithms process tracking data from satellites, radar, and infrared sensors, predicting where the hypersonic missile will be seconds ahead, seconds that mean the difference between stopping it and losing an entire city. One of the most ambitious ideas is to use directed energy weapons, high-powered lasers that can strike a hypersonic vehicle at the speed of light. While still in development, these systems could theoretically burn through the missile structure before it reaches its target. The U.S. Navy has been experimenting with ship-mounted lasers, while the Air Force envisions airborne laser platforms that could patrol high in the sky, ready to engage threats almost instantly. Another futuristic approach involves railguns and electromagnetic launchers. These weapons use magnetic fields to fire projectiles at several times the speed of sound, potentially enough to intercept hypersonic threats. The advantage is cost: railgun projectiles are far cheaper than complex interceptor missiles. The challenge? They need massive amounts of power and precision targeting systems that can react in milliseconds. Russia and China are not sitting idle. Both are rumored to be developing their own hypersonic defense systems, knowing full well that whoever masters both offense and defense in this arena will hold the ultimate strategic advantage. It's a high-tech arms race, and the margins for error are razor thin. Even with all this technology, one fundamental truth remains: the best defense is layered. Hypersonic defense is not just one missile or one radar, it's a network. Space-based tracking feeds data to ground-based radars, which queue up interceptors, while AI-driven command systems evaluate multiple threats at once. Warships, air defense batteries, and even airborne drones may all be linked into this web, creating a constantly shifting shield. The political stakes are as high as the technical ones. Hypersonic weapons reduce reaction times to minutes or even seconds, creating a hair-trigger environment where leaders must decide almost instantly whether to launch a counterattack. That makes miscalculations more likely and diplomacy more fragile. Building reliable defense systems could buy those precious extra minutes that might prevent a global catastrophe. There's also the question of cost. Hypersonic defense is astronomically expensive, and no country can blanket its entire territory with it. Instead, nations will prioritize protecting critical targets, military command centers, nuclear missile silos, major cities, and strategic infrastructure. For adversaries, this means finding and exploiting weak spots. For defenders, it means constantly upgrading and adapting their systems. One fascinating development is the idea of boost phase interception. Instead of trying to hit the missile mid-flight, this strategy aims to destroy it seconds after launch, when it's still accelerating and before it reaches hypersonic speed. This requires platforms close to the enemy's launch site stealth. Drones, submarines, or forward-deployed warships armed with ultra-fast interceptors or lasers. It's risky and politically sensitive, but potentially the most effective way to stop hypersonics. Hypersonic defense is not just a military challenge, it's a test of human ingenuity under pressure. Engineers are pushing the boundaries of material science to create interceptors that can withstand the extreme heat and pressure of chasing a hypersonic target. Computer scientists are developing algorithms that can process sensor data in real time without human intervention. And strategists are rethinking the very nature of deterrence in an age when threats move faster than decisions. In the end, the race to build hypersonic defense systems is about more than technology. It's about survival in a world where speed has become the ultimate weapon. The side that can see first, think fastest, and strike with precision will hold the advantage, not just on the battlefield, but in the delicate balance of global power. For now, the skies remain contested. Somewhere above the clouds, engineers are running simulations. Satellites are scanning for faint heat trails, and prototype interceptors are being tested in secret ranges. Every day brings new breakthroughs and new challenges. The question is not whether hypersonic defense will exist, but whether it will be ready in time. Because when the moment comes, there will be no warning sirens, no time for second guesses. Only the quiet hum of sensors, the flash of an interceptor launching, and the hope that human technology can match the speed of the fastest weapons ever built. The clock is ticking, and the world is watching the invisible war being fought above our heads. The race is not just for dominance, it is for the future of warfare itself.